Hey there. Before you close your eyes tonight, I want to share a story with you. A story that can shift the way you think, give your heart peace, and fill you with hope for tomorrow. Tonight, let's take a few minutes to recharge together and remind ourselves that strength is always closer than we think. You know, we live in a world that never stops talking. Social media posts, endless conversations, promises we make to ourselves and others. But what if I told you that the most powerful transformations happen not when we speak the loudest, but when we work the quietest? Tonight's story is about Alex, someone who discovered that true magic doesn't live in our words. It lives in our silent, consistent actions. Sometimes the most profound strength comes not from announcing our plans to the world, but from quietly building them, brick by brick, when no one is watching. Tonight, we're going to explore how the gentle power of doing can speak louder than any words ever could. What part of your day today made you feel challenged? Write it in the comments. I want to know. Because tonight's story is about someone who faced their biggest challenge, not through grand gestures, but through quiet, daily choices. Your challenge today might be the exact place where tomorrow's strength begins to grow. The image shows reflection and listening. True success doesn't come from talking about dreams, but from taking silent, consistent action. Let your results speak louder than your words. Alex had always been the talker in every room. At family gatherings, friend meetups, work meetings, wherever there were people, there was Alex, sharing grand plans, big dreams, and ambitious goals. "I'm going to start that business," Alex would say over coffee. "I'm writing a novel," they'd announce at parties. "Next year, I'm running a marathon," they'd declare during lunch breaks. Friends would nod enthusiastically, offering encouragement and advice. Alex felt energized by these conversations, like each declaration was a step closer to making dreams reality. But as months passed, the business remained an idea. The novel stayed as scattered notes, and the running shoes collected dust in the closet. One evening, feeling frustrated and disappointed, Alex sat in their small apartment, surrounded by half-started projects and empty promises. The weight of unfinished dreams pressed down like a heavy blanket. That's when Alex noticed something. The neighbor across the hall, Maria, who never seemed to talk much about anything at all. Maria was quiet, almost invisible in their building. She worked early mornings, came home in the evenings, and Alex rarely heard much from her apartment. But lately, Alex had noticed small changes. Maria had started carrying art supplies up the stairs. There were paint smudges on her fingers. Sometimes, the faint sound of classical music drifted through the walls. Curiosity finally got the better of Alex. One Saturday morning, they knocked on Maria's door. When it opened, Alex was stunned. The apartment had been transformed into a beautiful art studio. Canvases lined the walls, each one more breathtaking than the last. Landscapes that seemed to breathe, portraits that captured the soul, abstract pieces that spoke without words. "Maria," Alex whispered, "these are incredible. How long have you been painting?" Maria smiled gently. "About 2 years now. I started after work each day, just for 20 minutes at first." "But you never mentioned it. You never talked about being an artist." "I was too busy becoming one," Maria replied simply. That moment hit Alex like lightning. While Alex had been talking about dreams, Maria had been quietly living hers. While Alex announced intentions to the world, Maria had been making quiet progress in the shadows. Every evening when Alex thought Maria was just resting, she was actually creating, building, growing. Alex spent that afternoon with Maria, learning about her journey. Maria explained how she'd realized that talking about her dreams had somehow made them feel less urgent. When I told people I wanted to paint, I got this little rush of satisfaction, like I'd already accomplished something. But I hadn't actually picked up a brush yet. So you stopped talking about it? I stopped talking and started doing, even if it was just for 15 minutes a day, even if the first paintings were terrible. I learned that dreams don't need an audience, they need action. Maria showed Alex her earliest work, clumsy, amateur attempts that barely resembled art. But there was something beautiful about seeing the progression, painting by painting, month by month. The improvement was undeniable because the practice had been consistent. I used to think I needed the perfect setup, the right time, the ideal conditions, Maria continued. But I realized that waiting for perfect conditions is just another way of avoiding the work. So I painted in my tiny kitchen at first, using cheap brushes and basic colors. The magic wasn't in having the best supplies. It was in showing up every day, even when I didn't feel like it. Alex felt a shift happening inside. All those grand announcements, all those detailed plans shared over coffee, they had been substitutes for actual progress. The talking had given Alex the emotional satisfaction of pursuing dreams without the effort of actually pursuing them. That week, Alex made a quiet decision. No more announcements, no more grand declarations. Instead, Alex chose one small thing, writing for just 10 minutes every morning before work. No one needed to know. No social media posts about starting my writing journey. No coffee conversations about becoming a novelist. Just 10 minutes every day in the quiet of the early morning. The first week was harder than expected. Without the excitement of sharing plans, without the encouragement of friends, there was just Alex and a blank page. Some mornings, Alex wrote only a few sentences. Other days, the words flowed easily. But every single day, Alex showed up. After a month, something beautiful happened. Alex had written more in those quiet morning sessions than in all the previous years of planning to write. The notebook filled with stories, thoughts, observations. The daily practice had created something real, something tangible. 3 months later, Alex ran into an old friend who asked, "Whatever happened to that novel you were going to write?" Alex smiled, thinking of the growing stack of filled notebooks at home. "I'm working on it," was all they said. The friend nodded absently and moved on to other topics. But Alex felt a deep satisfaction that had nothing to do with external validation. The work itself had become the reward. By the end of the year, Alex had completed a full manuscript, not because of any grand plan or public accountability, but because of those quiet, consistent 10-minute sessions. Each morning had been a small victory that no one else saw, but that built into something meaningful over time. Alex learned that there's profound power in silent progress. When we stop seeking applause for our intentions and start focusing on our actions, magic happens. Dreams stop being performances and start being realities. Maria had been right. Dreams don't need an audience. They need attention. They need the kind of daily care that happens away from social media posts and coffee shop conversations. They need the quiet dedication that builds something real, brick by invisible brick. The most transformative work often happens in silence, in the spaces between announcements, in the daily moments when no one is watching, but we show up anyway. Alex discovered that true strength isn't loud. It's consistent. It doesn't seek recognition. It seeks progress. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is close our mouths, open our notebooks, and let our actions write the story we've been trying to tell all along. Engagement questions. If you were Alex at the beginning of this story, constantly talking about dreams but struggling to act on them, What would you do to move forward? How would you break the cycle? Which part of this story touched you the most? Comment below. Was it Alex's moment of realization, Maria's quiet transformation, or perhaps the power of those 10-minute morning sessions? If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which lesson spoke to your heart the most. Take a moment and think about today. No matter how hard it felt, tomorrow is another chance. Even a tiny step can turn your whole day around. Believe in the power of small actions. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, I want you to remember Alex and Maria. Think about the dreams you've been carrying, the goals you've been talking about, the changes you've been planning. There's nothing wrong with sharing our hopes, but there's something magical about protecting them too, giving them space to grow in the quiet corners of our daily lives. Maybe you've been that person who announces every intention, every plan, every dream. That's okay. Recognition feels good, and encouragement from others can fuel us. But sometimes, the most nourishing thing we can do for our dreams is to stop talking about them and start feeding them with action, even when no one is looking. Consider this. What if your next breakthrough came not from a bold declaration, but from a quiet commitment? What if instead of telling everyone about your plans, you spent that energy actually working on them? What if the most powerful step you could take tomorrow was a small, silent one? The beauty of quiet progress is that it compounds. Each small action builds on the last. Each day you show up, even for just 10 minutes, you're proving to yourself that you're someone who keeps promises, especially the ones you make in silence. Your dreams deserve more than words. They deserve the gift of your consistent attention. They deserve the respect of your daily practice. They deserve to be built, not just discussed. What is one small thing you can do tomorrow to feel stronger and more hopeful? Think about Alex's 10-minute morning writing sessions. What would your version of that be? Share it below, and remember, you don't have to announce it to the world. Sometimes the most powerful promises are the ones we make quietly to ourselves. If this story gave you even a little spark of hope, share it with a friend, hit the like button, and come back tomorrow. We'll check in on today's story and see how it unfolded. You won't want to miss it. Subscribe to Dream Fuel Stories so every night you can end your day inspired. You know what I love most about tonight's story? It reminds us that transformation doesn't always have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the most revolutionary thing we can do is quietly, consistently show up for ourselves. Alex's journey from talker to doer started with one simple shift, choosing action over announcement. Tomorrow night, we're going to explore what happened to Alex 6 months later. And I'll share a story about the unexpected challenge that tested everything they had learned about quiet progress. We'll discover how small, consistent actions can prepare us for moments when we need strength we didn't even know we were building. But here's what I want you to do before tomorrow. Pick one small thing, one tiny action you can take for yourself. Don't announce it. Don't post about it. Just do it. Let it be your secret gift to your future self. If you're ready to start your own quiet transformation like Alex did, give this video a like and let me know in the comments what your first small step will be. And remember, every night when you come here, you're already practicing what Alex learned. You're showing up consistently for your own growth and inspiration. That matters more than you know. Sweet dreams, and see you tomorrow night for another story that will remind you just how capable and strong you really are. Do you have your own story of courage or hope? Maybe about a time when you chose quiet action over loud promises? Share it in the comments. We might feature it in our next video. And don't forget to like this video if Alex's journey inspired you to think differently about your own dreams.